Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, all best laid plans and all that. At the start of each week, I put together a mix of maps to put together a series of shows that gives you a bit of variety, variation, a bit of quality. I try and pick the best of what's new, and sometimes it just does not work. As in today, just does not work. If you watched yesterday's show, today's map is so unbelievably similar, apart from the theme and the LUT, you're not going to believe it. So, I think we've got time for a daily reminder before we start. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Big Plains, Montana by DrummingDwarf. Okay, now at first glance, this looks pretty good. And at second glance as well. There's your start square, and we've got a few national roads in there just to get you going. That's it really. There's your terrain heights, real life height map type thing. Not sure exactly where from, but I would guess somewhere in Montana. There's your resources, all centered on 25 tiles, so it's a 25 tile map. Anything outside of that doesn't really matter. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do fishing, then that's what that looks like there. Off to the workshop, no DLC required today. We've got a couple of requirements, so some fluffy grass, some meadow grass, and the unlimited trees mod. We'll be using the vanilla temperate theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. Okay, so similarities with yesterday. We've got national roads rather than highways. That's okay if it feels like it's a national road kind of map. The only problem with national roads is you can have traffic issues because you don't have intersections, you have junctions, and junctions is stop-start traffic. It can be anyway. Also, they obviously can only handle a certain weight of traffic as well. So if you're looking at a big city map, somewhere that's going to handle a big city, then national roads are going to struggle a little bit. If you've got a map that doesn't look like, if you've got a map that's got a variation in it, if it's got little small, tidied, tucked away areas, then national roads could be fine because you could do these little settlements. But if you just have these huge plains, and a map called Big Plains is huge plains, you're looking at bigger build, and you're gonna struggle. I think you're going to struggle with this one, just because it needs a highway network. Now, I was thinking about my next map. I'm not starting on it. As we all do, we all think about our next map, don't we? Oh, I could do this. And I got a similar-ish kind of vibe to today's map in mind. And I was actually thinking national roads. But looking at this, I don't think national roads are going to cut it. If I do get started on the next map, of course. So yes, we've got a little bit of stop-start going on here. The highways are already very, very busy. And this is just through map traffic. This is nothing going into a start square. This is no city build going on. This is just traffic trying to find its way from one side of the map to the other. Add into this start square traffic and you are going to be clogged. You're going to be clogged. So, of course, you can upgrade your roads. If you're playing the 25 tile game, though, or even a 9 tile game, you won't be able to upgrade your roads to the outside of the map. And if you're playing that sort of game anyway, you're probably not playing with unlimited funds. A little bit up and over on the road here. Could be smoothed out just a little bit, I feel. Following the path of the river. Should be a little bit smoother than that. I've taken the wrong turning. Hang on. Ignore me. Remember this clogged up junction here? Yeah, we're going to go this way. Ah, yes. As we were saying, it's easy to get lost as well. if you're me. And I don't have sat nav. Right, okay, down to the start square. Now, this is your start square junction. And it's a bit like an arrowhead. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's what we have. It's a shout. I suppose there are people going to like that. And now we're down in the start square. Somewhere down there should be at ground level. Right, at ground level. We're going to go in at ground level today, rather than dropping from above. Now, this is one that you might want to use the procedural objects mod with this one. Because you can actually add your own text to it. Now, this one is a UK-centric one. It's the UK Blank Road Signs collection by Sparks. I've added a little bit of text to the front one there. I couldn't actually get the correct font to work in colour, but it's all of the varieties of UK road signs. I'm not going to talk through them, but things like the National Trust one there on our left and so forth. And we'll do a factoid, because factoids, why not? Because we're here, huh? Today's date, the 17th of June, was not only the date of birth of King John III of Poland, but it was also the date of his coronation, and of his marriage, and ultimately his death. King John of Poland, happy birthday, death day, coronation day, and marriage day. Anniversary, I guess. Oh, we've even got these little road signs like this as well. Really, really neat. So anyway, procedural objects mod, nice little mod. I could say I couldn't get the font to work properly. Not with the colours. Not for change of. I don't know if it was me or whether it was the mod. But anyway, it's a lovely little thing. The UK Blank Road Signs collection by Sparks. If you're doing a UK build, you will definitely want to be getting hold of those. And I'll link in the tutorial too. Because if you're going to make a tutorial for procedural objects mod, you may as well link it in. Okay, right, out of the 25 tiles, ignore this, ignore that. We have agreed that with the resources set up as they are, there's absolutely no intention by the map creator of you seeing anything outside of the 25 tiles. So I think we can forgive that. Even so, I'm not quite sure why it would be elevated out here, but let's say, I think we're probably getting into 25 tile territory now. So from now, I reckon we're about judgmental location. Yeah, it's roller coaster, isn't it? It's a bit up and down and bouncing around, and not pretty at all. And it's a fairly flat map. Big plains. You would imagine you could probably get a fairly flat rail route in. Don't want to be too harsh, because I don't think the map creator has got a huge amount of experience, but there's no way of knowing for sure because they've got their profile set to private. This might be my first map. It might be. All I know is the rail ain't the prettiest. And the highway's going to get a bit clogged up. Even level crossing here. Why don't we have a... No, let's just not go there. Right, okay, and that's where the rail ends, which means time for one of these.
Are your soggy little Sims constantly getting even more soggy? Are you continuously drowning your trees and soaking your city? Then you need BonBonB's flood management tutorial. Click the information button now.
And so back to Big Plains, Montana by DrummingDwarf. Shipping routes, we don't have any, but there are a couple of air routes there, and it looks like somewhere you'd have an airport, so I'm all for that. Water flow, the main river does have good strong water flow. I think it wins over yesterday's map in terms of water flow, because at least you can assume this is going in the right direction. Yesterday's map was going upstream where it should have been going downstream. There are some water flow issues with this map, but nothing that's going to affect gameplay, and so therefore I think we can give some credit. Okay, the hills. The hills are obviously from a terrain party map. They've been splayed with lots of trees. It just feels like a crazy tree brush. It's fine. It's good coverage. It just doesn't feel any form of realism. It's a quick paint. Also a quick paint is with the grasses. I don't know. These are like chicken pox over the entire map. I think if you use these grasses for detail concentrate them on an area, they can look really, really good. But as they are, I think choosing a theme for grasses and then just using those as focal areas would be much better. We're a little bit dipped down in terms of the river, so the banks are quite high, which isn't necessarily a huge problem. But these side rivers I've got a bit of a problem with. A little bit of a problem. Like if I was to hang around above here and speed things up, you can see the water will stop-start. And where are we? It will stop. There you go, there's stop. Just coming out now. And it's steady. It's steady. It looks fine for a long while. You can't see it's going to happen, and then it will stop-start again, which it's a bit distracting, let's say. Again, not game-breaking, but distracting. This one's got a little bit of a drop-off into the river. I guess you can get little waterfalls like that into the main river from a side river. But this little side river has got a whole bunch of drowned trees in it. So, and I've got the spring for the water spawn point, which is not a favourite of mine, but I can live with it. I can live with it. What is worse though, is the spawn point on this one. It actually doesn't look too bad. In fact, if we'd stopped a little bit short, we could have done this. This could have been a really lovely river. I mean, it's quite well formed. There's no drowned trees. It's a nice shape, a really nice shape actually. And if we'd done like a little lakey or marshy type area about here, we'd look really good. But wait for the spawn. Wait for it. The spawn is right up here at the peak. And we have water going in 2 directions. What? Okay, where's that water going? Where do you think? What do you think is going to happen with this water? Well, the answer is it peters out in what could be a lake with more water feeding into it. I'm glad there isn't, because that would make it more of a fantasy map with water spawning in 2 directions. I think it's just an error. I hope so anyway. Really deep river at this location, and I think we've covered everything that you need to see to be able to vote on today's map. Remember, be kind in the comments. Always be kind in the comments. But if you want to vote on the map, top right hand corner of your screen now, the little I button there. Click on that. You can vote using your Facebook, Gmail, YouTube, or Patreon, a free Patreon account login. And your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? Right, well, I think aesthetically, it's not awful. It's not awful. It just doesn't glow. I'm going to give it a low 2. I think if this had a decent theme and LUTs, this might pop a little bit more. But I'm going to go for a low 3. A low 3 it is. Did I say low 2? I meant low 3. Detailing. Now we're into the 2s, I'm afraid. There's a lot of work needs doing with this one. And there's too many things holding it down. Too many basics, I'm afraid. I can't go higher than 2 stars. Gameplay potential. Of course, every map is playable. Every map can be upgraded as you're playing. But as it stands at the moment, traffic flow is going to be a huge issue, especially for the size of city you'll be building. So I've got to go 2 stars. Big Plains, Montana by DrummingDwarf. Overall, I kind of like the vibe of this map, and I think it's got a lot of potential. I just think the networks need sorting out, and well, just throw in some highways. Just throw in some highways. Why not? I know it might not fit with Montana, but yeah, you've got to make it playable for the game of Cities Skylines, as well as it's not like a specific real life location, is it? Anyway, today you are in your 20 and out elite if you're still watching, which means if you use that little phrase there in today's comments, you can award yourself 100 population points. It's all fictional, it's all for fun, and don't talk about it in the comments. I've been BonBonB, and I'll see you very, very soon.